transmissions.
This is a Trav and Christy online exclusive.
Yes, is Randolph there, please?
Speaking. Who's calling?
Randolph, Trav and Christy from the Big Cheese Morning Show.
Hey, good morning. How are you this morning?
Doing
morning,
great,
Randolph.
sir. Hey, we appreciate you taking time and talking to us this morning. How you doing?
Oh, very good. How are you guys doing?
We're doing great. A couple of confessions. Christy's pretty excited.
First of all, I'm really nervous right now because I'm a huge fan. I watched you in Emergency all those years ago and had a huge crush on you. So excuse me if I get a little tongue-tied.
Don't worry about it.
I told my mom who we were going to be talking to this morning, and I thought her and her two sisters were going to drive to Wausau to meet you today. And I said, Mom, it's over the phone. I broke her heart. I broke her heart, Randolph.
Well, I should be in your town pretty quick, so maybe we can arrange something.
It's Trav and Christy, the Big Cheese Morning Show. This morning we're speaking with Randolph Mantooth. Folks, we know him. He's an actor, screenwriter, producer, public speaker. But, of course, that role, Christy, Johnny Gage from the TV drama Emergency, which we grew up to.
Yeah.
Hanging out this morning. And you are coming to the area. There's a meet and greet. You're actually appearing on behalf of Ministry Healthcare in their 14th Annual Spirit Conference next Thursday. But
not really on behalf of.
Okay.
I mean, they have invited me. I always have to be careful of the behalf. I really always say I come on my behalf,
okay,
representing the Ministry of Healthcare. But and it's something that I take a great source of pride in being able to travel everywhere. In fact, I think I've been in your state now. I'll be back in your state, I guess, in September.
Okay.
And but I take great pride in being able to come and help awareness. As you well know, the Ministry of Healthcare for your whole region has been there for quite a while. 15, 20 years, if I'm not mistaken, and you have some pretty special medical transportation there that a lot of areas of the country don't have, and without people knowing that it takes a lot of time and effort and care on a lot of people's part, people tend to take all this stuff for granted. Like what was it, 30 years ago? Yeah. 35 years ago, nobody even had heard of the word paramedic.
Right. And
now all of a sudden, almost virtually the whole country is within 7 to 10 minutes away from advanced life-saving services, and people now are tending to take all for granted. Mm-hmm. And if you were born before 1970. Or born after 1970, you've never known a world without paramedics. Well, I remember a world without paramedics, but now everybody's sort of taking it for granted, and so being able to come, and help the Ministry of Healthcare kind of salute and celebrate, their organization really makes me feel good. It's like I feel like I'm giving back, because this business has given me so much.
Sure. Well, we can hear the passion in your voice, and it is Trav and Christy. Randolph Mantooth, actor, of course, from the TV drama Emergency, played Johnny Gage. You made a great point, Randolph, when you said people that were born post 1970, that's the only thing we know. We know always within a helicopter landing down to save a life. When you started the show Emergency, how many people even knew what a first responder was?
Well, I don't know of anybody. In fact, I don't think that term had really been coined yet. But I remember when I was told by Universal Studios that I would be playing Los Angeles County firefighter paramedic Johnny Gage. The first thing I said was, "What the hell is a paramedic?"
Yeah, right.
I said, "Is that like a doctor who parachutes onto sick people?" I didn't know.
Yeah, right.
And, well, if you've ever watched Emergency, you'd know I wasn't too far off.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
But that's why your character is so memorable, because I'll be honest with you, I watched a lot of episodes, and I still catch them in reruns. Hell, they're available on DVD. But your character jumped through because, people could relate to you. You were a young guy, kind of,
Plus, I was a little goofy.
You were goofy, and the ladies liked you. I mean, come on.
Well, now, hang on. That's something that I've got to...
Clear up?
I've got to point out.
Okay.
If you'll go back and watch all 7 years, you'll realize that I never, ever got the girl. And I kept saying saying to my executive producer, Bob Senator, who created the show, I said, Bob, do you watch these other shows that are on the air? Usually the guy gets the girl. He goes, well, you're not going to get the girl. Why? He said, well, because then everybody can relate to you. And I said, I don't care. I want to get the girl. if you watch, Johnny always is flirting.
You're right.
And he always talks about how he had this great date, but it turned into a disaster. And, of course, Roy looks at him and rolls his eyes. You know, he's the voice of reason. Johnny never got the girl.
So when season 7, when that ended, I mean, was there this piece of your life that you thought was never going to be complete because Johnny never did get the girl?
Yeah, it really kind of ticked me off.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, hey, come on, guys. This is my legacy on TV, the guy that never got the girl. Of course, I think Bob was really onto something because not everybody gets the girl. But Johnny Gage always had a good humor about it.
Sure. Well, you were the first show to go into that type of realm. It had never been done before. Now It's repeated on a seasonal basis. I look at shows that have copied so much of what you have done, and movies as well. And there always had to be the first, and that's why it's great to talk to Randolph Mantooth.
The pioneer, huh?
Yeah, the pioneer, Johnny Gage from Emergency. Let's talk real quick, the meet and greet, and we're opening this up for the public to come and meet you from 4 until 6 this Thursday at the Ramada Inn in Stevens Point. So we hope all of your fans come out and meet you 4 to 6 again at the Ramada in Stevens Point this Thursday. And let's talk about your fans, because there are those that watched you on TV for 7 seasons on Emergency, but there are all sorts of people that you inspired, Randolph, to become something that you portrayed but had never been done before, and that is, talk about that. Do you know what I'm trying to say here?
Yeah, no, I do, because I get it all the time.
Yeah.
And I remember, you have to understand, Kevin and I didn't know that we were part of a show that would become so important in history. We were just these young guys that were trying to get a date. You know, we were just trying to
just not on screen.
Turn in a good day's work, and we had no idea that at home, because we were insulated and isolated while we were doing that show, because we were working every day from sunup till sundown, and sometimes way into the night. And we would just go home, eat, read the script for the next day, go to bed, get up and do the same thing every day. And so we had really no idea that the rest of the country, we knew the show was popular because we saw the ratings.
Right.
But we had no idea that people were changing their careers. And kids were watching and going, that's what I want to be. I found my calling. We had no idea that it was having that kind of an impact on the country. And honestly, I don't think it was until May of 2000 when the show was inducted into the Smithsonian, and not into the entertainment section, but into the public service section, which made it even more proud for me. I think it was at that point that Kevin and I, it really dawned on us just how much of an impact it had on the country. And it's a kind of a daunting feeling to go to these speeches and sit down and sign autographs and talk with people, and just one right after another will say, I'm doing this because of what you did. Well, okay, I'll take a little bit of that credit, but I can't take that credit. That was really Bob Senator, 4 doctors who started the whole paramedic program, and Bob Senator, who was the executive producer and creator of the show. I really have to step back and let them take a bow. Unfortunately, Bob is no longer with us, but he was the one who said that this show could not only be very entertaining, and it was, but it could also be educational. And he often said, and if we do it right, we could save some lives. And so I have to step back at that. You know, Kevin and I were just 2 of the luckiest human beings on earth to be at the right place at the right time, and to play Johnny and Roy. And the fact that Kevin and I were such good friends at the time, and still are. He's still my best friend. Was just it's like how the stars just line up. You know, we could have had a show where Kevin and I hated one another, and I doubt the show would have gone for 7 years. But it was exactly the opposite. Kevin really became my closest and dearest friend.